Have you ever looked across a dinner table and realized someone smiling at you was secretly waiting for your life to end? That was the night everything changed. I believed I was gathering my family for one final celebration. At 72 years old, after decades of building a successful business from nothing, I had finally decided how my estate would be divided. My lawyer had prepared the documents. The restaurant had been reserved weeks in advance. Everyone thought this dinner was about love, gratitude, and family. But someone at that table had a very different plan. As I watched my son laugh with his wife, I noticed something strange. My daughter-in-law barely touched her food. She kept checking the expensive watch on her wrist. Every few minutes, her eyes drifted toward my glass of wine. Then she'd smile again, a smile that never reached her eyes. At first I ignored it. Maybe I was imagining things. After all, she had always been charming, polite, helpful, the perfect daughter-in-law in front of everyone else. Then the waitress approached. She wasn't our regular server. She leaned over as if adjusting my napkin. Without looking at me, she slipped a folded note beneath my hand. My heart skipped a beat. I unfolded it slowly under the table. Only 2 words were written in shaky handwriting. Don't drink. For a second, I couldn't breathe. I looked toward the waitress. She refused to meet my eyes. Instead, she quietly whispered as she walked away. Trust me. Every instinct screamed that something terrible was about to happen. I could expose whoever was behind this. I could stand up and accuse everyone at the table. But instead, I smiled. I raised my glass. And I made a decision that would change every life in that room forever. Instead of drinking, I pretended to answer a phone call. As everyone watched, I casually switched my untouched wine glass with the identical glass sitting in front of my daughter-in-law. No one noticed, except the waitress. She froze for a moment, then quietly stepped back. Dinner continued. My daughter-in-law kept smiling. She even encouraged everyone to make a toast. To family, she said. The irony almost made me laugh. As we lifted our glasses, I only touched mine to my lips without taking a sip. She took a large drink. Within minutes, her expression changed. The confident smile disappeared. She became pale. Her hands started trembling. She suddenly pushed back her chair and gasped for air. The restaurant fell silent. People rushed to help. An ambulance arrived within minutes. While everyone was distracted, I quietly asked the waitress why she warned me. With tears in her eyes, she admitted she'd seen my daughter-in-law secretly pour something into my wine while pretending to fix her makeup. She wanted to call the police immediately, but feared she'd be ignored. So she chose to warn me first. At the hospital, doctors discovered traces of a dangerous chemical in the wine. Fortunately, because the amount she consumed herself was small, she survived. But the police investigation uncovered something far worse. Messages on her phone, internet searches, life insurance documents, even conversations discussing how quickly my estate would be transferred after my death. The evidence was overwhelming. My own son sat in the interrogation room, unable to believe the woman he trusted had secretly planned everything without his knowledge. The family I spent decades protecting shattered overnight. A week later, I invited everyone together once more. This time, not at a restaurant, at my lawyer's office. I calmly announced that my will had been completely rewritten. Every charitable foundation I'd supported for years would receive the majority of my fortune. My loyal employees, who had stood beside me through every difficult season, would receive generous bonuses. My grandchildren would have protected education trusts that no one could touch. And anyone involved in betraying my trust would receive absolutely nothing. The room was silent. For the first time, no one smiled. People often believe greed begins with money. It doesn't. Greed begins the moment someone starts seeing a loved one as an opportunity instead of a person. That waitress didn't save my fortune. She saved my life. And she reminded me that true family isn't always connected by blood. Sometimes, the greatest loyalty comes from a complete stranger who refuses to stay silent when something feels wrong. As I walked away from that final meeting, I realized something priceless. Money can build houses, power can build companies, but only character builds trust. The people willing to betray you for wealth will eventually destroy themselves chasing it. Justice doesn't always arrive with sirens. Sometimes, it arrives folded inside a tiny handwritten note that simply says, "Don't drink." And from that day forward, I never judged people by the smiles they wore. I judged them by the choices they made when they believed no one was watching.